I mean, it's not immediately obvious, but I was trying to stay at the center here. Trying a new strat. But this game, as you see, it's Geometry Wars. It's a game that came out quite a bit ago, 2013, I believe. And I remember playing it then, and I just love the intense action. I love basically the graphics that you see in front of you, the nice way all the objects explode into particle effects. It's pretty fantastic, honestly. And then, of course, just like all good shoot 'em ups, if it's good, you're gonna want to keep playing. And then the reason you're gonna keep on playing is because you just want that high score. I mean, if there's a few things that are jarring. Like, for instance, here my modifiers are pretty high up, and of course I die. So then it's an exercise in patience, but if you die, you're gonna have to like restart with your modifiers all over again. If there's one thing I wish this game would give me, is I wish that the moment I die, that the action could just ramp up again. But of course, you have to be a little bit patient. As you see here, I wasn't, and unfortunately, I paid the price for it. So it wasn't immediately obvious to me. But I also wish there was a way for the game to tell you, oh, you have an extra life coming, or you have an extra power up coming at a certain score. I actually had to look at my playthrough again to realize somewhere around the 70,000 point, the 70,000 mark, or actually the 75,000 mark, that I was actually able to get an extra life. But honestly, like any good game, you're going to be introduced to surprises the further you get into it. Like, for instance, you should have seen me, how delighted I was when new projectiles, like the ones that you see there flying right at me, the blue triangles, wanted to make sure that my playthrough would end in a much shorter note than I originally anticipated. But it was a lovely surprise, to say the least. Of course, what's usually important in this game, so you can rack up the highest score you possibly can, is the modifiers that the game introduced, which I guess shows how patient or how non-patient I am, because obviously I want to get the highest score possible. But the game puts a hanging fruit on you in regards to high points or a high score, and that's due to the modifiers that are thrown at you. Just keep on racking up as many projectiles as possible, and you're going to eventually get a high modifier. In my playthrough, I was getting up to 4 or 5 times my score, which is great, but I don't want to die. But clearly, it just happens. And as you see here, I'm just trying to run for my life. And eventually, I succumb, but not yet though, which, hooray for me, I guess. But of course, if you can weather through all that, then you're going to be given plenty of surprises in the game, which is things could get very hectic shortly. And especially if you run out of bombs, well, I just hope you have better dexterity on your controls than I do. And again, just like I said, if you're able just to have a gracefulness with this dual stick setup, if you're playing with a controller in this game, then you're going to be in for an incredible surprise as you maneuver your way through all these projectiles and all these beautiful wormholes that are in front of you, and everything's exploding around you. These wormholes also can suck you in. If you're ready for that, then you're going to be in for a good time, I think. So now, of course, what I want to show you guys is a playthrough of me beating a high score, and hopefully you'll come across with positive impressions of Geometry Wars and perhaps buy yourself a copy for as little as, what, $3, $5 in Steam? Well, here you go. Enjoy.